Hello everybody, this is Dr. M. Meenalochini, Assistant Professor in the Department of EEE, King's College of Engineering. In this session, we are going to see about how to program interrupts in PIC microcontroller. So interrupt, it is one of the powerful feature that is used in any embedded application. So basically two types are there, one is polling and the other one is interrupt based design. In case of polling, the microprocessor or the controller will be continuously monitoring if any request from any peripheral or any other devices are sending, whereas it steals the time of the microprocessor and it wastes the time of a processor in spending its valuable time amidst its busy schedule. So therefore interrupt is another feature where in case of interrupts the processor can do its normal operations, and whenever there is an interrupt raised, it can go there and find whether anything is there, and it can execute an interrupt service routine. So this is the concept of interrupt. Almost all real-time applications are implemented using interrupts. So these interrupts are special events. Okay, it can be either a software or hardware interrupt. Okay, and it can be a maskable or non-maskable interrupt. So maskable interrupt can be rejected. Non-maskable interrupt will always be serviced by the processor. Okay. It stops a microcontroller or a processor from the running task. That means the main program or the current operation of the processor is suspended. Okay. And to serve a special task known as interrupt service routine. So whenever an interrupt is raised, there should be a small program or routine known as interrupt service routine. So in this interrupt service routine, steps are given so that the controller can do those steps whenever an interrupt is raised. Okay. So after this interrupt service routine is executed, it can return to the main program or it can resume its normal operation. Interrupt handling mechanism. So basically we have seen that the program stack, it consists of 8 levels. That means 8 registers are there, and this stack usually holds the addresses of the program instructions to be executed. So stack is a portion of memory. It holds the address of the program counter whenever there is an interrupt. So it is a last in first out structure. So whatever be the address that is uh, stored in the stack last, it will be first retrieved. So that is last in first out. The last push is actually the technical name used for storing the content into the stack, and pop is the one which is used for retrieving the content. So that is popping. Pushing means storing the content in stack. Okay, the last pushed address is the first popped one. Before executing any instruction, its address is pushed to the stack. Okay. Before servicing the interrupt, that address of the program counter is pushed to the stack. Whenever an interrupt occurs, this CPU will push the next instruction's address in the stack. So this is for the sake of memory. So after executing the interrupt service routine, once again when the program counter or the CPU returns to the main program, it should know the address of the next instruction where it has to begin its operation. So that next instruction address will be stored in the stack. Okay. So this was the next instruction to be executed before the interruption. Okay. Before interruption, the next instruction address will be stored in the stack. Then the address of the interrupt vector is automatically pushed to the program counter. So interrupt vector, this is actually an address location. So this vector address is a place where the subroutine, which I already told, interrupt service routine or the subroutine, it will be stored in this vector address. So that address should be loaded into the program counter. Then only the program counter knows where to transfer the operation or where to branch its operation from the main program. Okay. So the CPU branches directly to the ISR handler code to execute it. It will be branching to the interrupt vector address where the ISR interrupt service routine is stored. CPU will automatically perform the return from instruction interrupt. So that is the read instruction. Whenever the IS or interrupt service routine is completed, at the end of the service routine will be having a return instruction. So on seeing that instruction, the CPU will return to the main program. So it obviously pops the last instruction's address. So whenever it returns to the main program, it should know where to start its or resume its operation in the main program. So usually the stack will be holding the next direction, that is next instruction address. That address will be popped and the program counter is loaded with that address value, and the control is transferred to the particular address in the main program. So this is actually the procedure in which the interrupt is executed. Coding the interrupt service routine. So the first task is to enable the interrupt. So many interrupts are there. First, to service an interrupt, that interrupt should be enabled. In any microprocessor or controller, that interrupt mechanism should be first enabled. So that is actually the first task here also. Next one, one of the register intcon, it is responsible for holding the information about interrupt. Okay, in that intcon register GIE, okay, general interrupt enable, it is a bit responsible for enabling interrupts, and that bit should be enabled. Okay, next one, PEIE, this is for peripheral interrupt. PEIE is used to enable the interrupt from peripheral. So these interrupts include INT, external interrupt pin, ADC, analog to digital converter interrupt, SPI bus interrupt, I2C bus interrupt, and input output change, that is port. Okay, so this bit is also enabled, so that if any peripheral interrupt is there, it should also be serviced. So one example for interrupt programming, usually programs are written depending upon the user requirement. Here one example is that a push button switch is connected to the external interrupt pin. So in PIC microcontroller pin diagram, we can see the int. So that pin we can connect external interrupt. So here we are connecting a push button switch. Okay. When this button is pressed, the pressing of the push button, it is considered as an interrupt. Okay, the microcontroller is interrupted, and after when the interrupt occurs, the interrupt service routine should be executed. So in the particular vector address, we have to write the code. What should be done? Okay, whenever the push button is pressed. So the interrupt service routine is written in such a manner that it toggles the status of port C for 1 second. So here we can write any code. Okay, in this program, it consists of toggling the status. Toggling means just switching on and off of all the bits of port C for how many seconds? 1 second. So the delay given here is 1 second. So a push button switch is connected to the interrupt pin of the PIC microcontroller. Whenever the push button is pressed, it raises the interrupt. Okay, and after the interrupt is raised, an interrupt service routine should be executed. So that interrupt service routine toggles the bits that are connected in port C for 1 second. So we can connect LEDs in all the bits of port C, so that we can see the toggling status of the LEDs. So this is the program like void main. So tris C equal to 0. So tris C is actually the port C. Okay. Whenever we are making it as 0, we are configuring it as an output port. Okay. Option register. So in that option register, we'll be having int edge. So int edge is used for setting whether the interrupt is raised due to rising edge of the trigger or not. So if it is equal to 1, whenever the rising edge of the interrupt occurs, it acts as a trigger. Okay, whenever a clock pulse rising edge is there, means at that time the interrupt will be enabled. So in incon register, general interrupt enable is enabled, so that the interrupt is first of all enabled. Enable the global interrupt. Next, incon bit, incon register will be having INTE for enabling the general purpose interrupt INT. So that should be made as 1. Okay, so these are actually making the these are actually the codes for enabling or configuring the different bits. While 1, port C equal to whenever the interrupt is there, while there is a 1, port C equal to some value is given to the port. Okay, so whenever an interrupt is raised, so it will be going to this void interrupt. This is actually the interrupt service routine. Okay, so after the interrupt is raised, first of all we have to clear this flag, interrupt flag. So incon dot intf, f stands for flag. This should be cleared so that it is ready for the next interrupt. So first it is cleared. After that, what we have told, we have to toggle the bits of port C. So port C, this is actually the NOT operation. So whatever be the value we have given here, that is toggled. 0x00 means the values will be toggled, 1x 11 like that. Okay, just opposite values will be given to port C. Invert the value at port C. Okay, so here we can give any value. So that value is actually inverted. That is, we are providing NOT operation. So each and every bit will be inverted. Okay, next, to see that inversion for normal human eye, we have to give some delay. So delay in terms of millisecond, 1000 millisecond is given here. That means 1 second, it is equal to 1 second. So this is actually the interrupt service routine, and whenever an interrupt is raised, this will normally execute the uh, interrupt service routine, which is actually toggling the bits of port C. So in this slide, in this session, we have seen about the programming, how to program interrupts in PIC microcontroller. Thank you.